Hello, War of the Visions fans. I'm Jackie Fox. We have a raid revival today, which I was kind of hoping for, especially for a lot of you newer players. This is where you get a lot of the best equipment in the game and where you should absolutely be going to pick some of this stuff up. You can get a bunch of recipes for any particular gear just by doing 20 missions. 20 of any missions at any reward level would get you like 52,000 medals in just mission rewards.
But in addition to farming medals from this event, you're also going to be choosing which particular boss you fight based on what you think you can handle, but also definitely what they drop. Because they're going to be dropping 3 out of about 4, or I'm sorry, 4 out of 4, but maybe not all of the things that you need, but they all drop UR material equipment crafting materials. So for Behemoth King, that's going to be the hearts, the beaks, and the light mega crysts. For Ifrit, that's going to be the threads, the bomb ash, and the dark mega crysts. White Marshmallow also has dark mega crysts, but does the slimy fluids and the tentacles, so that's a gross combination. And then Chocolate Flan has sand, ore, and fire mega crysts. So if you're looking for those, and none of the equipment that I'm talking about today is, that's where you find them. And as you can also see, the only thing that could actually really be fully farmed here is the Elf's Cloak, but the game will get you a tantalizingly far way along the way for Black Garb, Alexandrite Ring, Chocolate Flan earrings, Gauntlet of Sharpshield, Sharpshooter's Monocle, and Tomasa. And if you have additional medals, you can buy the things that you end up needing from the shop. But if you need the defense bracer, you're just kind of fucked unless you get a lot of medals to trade for literally everything it takes to craft it, including the recipes.
So you want to be doing at least those 20 missions basically every time just to accumulate different recipes for different stuff. But for this video, I'm going to be showing you where to focus economically. There are other things in here, of course. There are pieces of armor that are relatively specific, like I think it's like the battle gear or something. That's for strike units. It's a good defense penetration armor. There's also armors that are specific to like Lancer type characters. And there's a lot of heavy armors. And this is where you're going to find a lot of your heavy armor options. And those don't really have anything to do with economy. So more or less it's how updated and useful is their effect. And for that, I think generally the best is the Army Plate. Second best is the Brigandine, even though it's not quite as equipable. And then the Knight's Armor is equipable to basically everybody, but isn't really suited to a meta that we see very often, and is becoming more outdated. So basically everything else is in this section. Get yourself an Army Plate, maybe a Brigandine. And then what to get next? Well, if you're an evade unit, you have a question to ask yourself. Do I want defense penetration? If you do, you'll probably take the hit on the Black Garb with 40 evasion. If you don't, then the Winter Coat for your magic units is going to provide 48 evasion. If you want to just push that evasion as far and as hard as you can, then also the Winter Coat could work, but you're losing a little bit of defense penetration, as I said. Then if we're looking for accuracy, there are 2 really great options. The White Marshmallow Miniature, which is thankfully an accessory. Actually, all the rest of these are going to be accessories. So thankfully all accessories. Oops, all accessories. This has the highest accuracy stat of almost anything in the game. So best piece of accuracy gear other than the whiskers. The whiskers are pretty powerful. But in terms of high accuracy builds, if you want the best possible accuracy, this is the accessory you go with. Will also provide you 50% resistance to Petrify, Confusion, Sleep, and Poison. This is 2 more status resistances than most things provide, and they're automatic. So this is just really powerful. This may be the closest thing to like a ribbon that exists in game in terms of just its automatic effects. And then the Alexandrite Ring, while it doesn't do nearly as many things for your matchups into statuses, it's going to give you just general all elemental resistances. And those are going to be really helpful in a variety of scenarios, especially relatively modern scenarios. Although I think maybe the White Marshmallow Miniature is still better, because in a lot of those scenarios we also run into issues with poison, sleep, or paralyze. Even confusion can crop up pretty often these days. Chocolate Flan earrings are probably the best way to increase your HP, although only for a short period of time. They also provide 25% stun resistance, which is kind of in line with the other status affecting raid gear of old, other than the White Marshmallow Miniature, which is really quite fantastic in its ability to mitigate status, as well as its accuracy. It's just all around a great piece of gear in multiple respects. Then there's the Gauntlet of Sharp Steel. If you want to be putting healing power down on everything that you do, the Gauntlet of Sharp Steel is how you do it. Sharpshooter's Monocle also reduces AP on crits. So if you want to put AP reduction on everything you do, the Sharpshooter's Monocle is how you do that. For the Soul of Thamasa, the thing that I really think is important here is the Silent Resistance. The Silence Resistance is super huge, especially going up against, like, let's say Ashen Mont, who can very easily silence your mages. If your mage gets silenced, it's basically doing nothing but its LBs and maybe some other things. But silenced characters usually, or at least for the mages, especially the casters, basically their LB is the only thing that they can do at that point. So silence becomes really important to resist, and there aren't a lot of things that actually resist silence. As I was looking through all of the status things, a lot of these ones that resist multiple types of statuses do not include silence. This one doesn't include silence. This one includes even more things, but not silence. So even the biggest resistance effects in the game do not include silence. So I think that one's really important because of that. But moving back into the raid gear, we have the Defense Bracer, which is going to provide you disable resistance in addition to some accuracy. And finally the Elf's Cloak, which will help you defend against confusion and provide you some evasion. These are really subpar as evasion or accuracy gear at this point, and their resistances aren't great either. These are definitely the lowest tier, and I almost kicked them off. The Soul of Thamasa also has some issues, but silence resistance is really clutch. And I think even more important for more characters in more situations than Disable and Confusion, even though Disable and Confusion can be big deals themselves. But really all three of these are probably the older things here. A lot of the other stuff that I mentioned in terms of economy is newer gear, at least when you remove all of the non-economic gear that you can find at the raid. And there's a lot of it. I'll show you what you can get in a second. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I am Jackie Fox and have been throughout the entirety of this episode. And if you would like to support my foxiness, you can do so by clicking those links in the description where you can donate to the channel. Also another link that's going to show you all of the corners and facets of the Jackie Fox media empire, including my main YouTube channel and a podcast that goes along with that one, if you want to just listen instead of watching. Also, I sell books, so if you'd rather read than watch, I got you there too. I am truly a multimedia content creator, so If you would like to support my other content creation, check out those links in the description, but remember the free-to-play option for YouTube is to like, subscribe, and leave some comments down there below the description and all those beautiful links I just described to you. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.